Okay, so we have a survey here that has a closed traverse in it, two fixed at the beginning and two fixed at the end. And we're going to run a traverse adjustment on it. So I just want to cover the settings and then the workflow to run the adjustment. So if we look in the survey settings there's two that I'm going to primarily be concerned with. One is the control points. We need to have those fixed points imported correctly. And in this survey, we imported anything with a CP field code. We imported those as control points. So we'll look at those in a second when we go to the field book. So we have our fixed at beginning and end there. And then we have our adjustment default set up like we want them. In this case, all I've really set is the adjustment type here to be a compass rules. All these other options down here really just apply for our least squares adjustment. So in this case, we're just doing a traverse adjustment. So we have a compass rule option up here for our adjustment type. So if we switch over to our survey field book now, I do want to look at those control points. If I hit all control points and hit details, I see that I do have my two CP control points at the beginning and I have my two at the end that were imported correctly. So I do have the fixity that I need. And then if I'm going to go and actually run the adjustment now, I just want to note that turning on the toggle here is really just turning on the display of the traverses and the error ellipses over here in the view. I haven't actually run the traverse yet. The first thing I'm going to need to do is tell it what is the path of the traverse. So I'm going to right click and add a new traverse. And the select traverses dialog, it suggests to me that it thinks it's found one in my data set. So if I had multiple in the field book, it would list them all down here. I could pick the ones that I wanted to do the adjustment on. I only have one in this field book, and it is correct. I started off with 1 and 2. I ended with 9 and 10. And I had my, my intermediate points in there. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to add that selected traverse. So now it has a traverse here that it's going to adjust. Once I've added it to the list there, I'm going to hit accept and still haven't run a traverse yet. I can see that I have my it's added the graphic in there because I have the display of the graphics turned on. And the last thing I'm going to do when I do want to run the adjustments, I'm going to right click on that and I'm going to say turn on. Now when I say turn on, it's actually going to go through, I've clicked on it there, it's actually going to go through and calculate the errors. Since this is a compass adjustment, it's just going to distribute those errors along the legs of the traverse. And it's going to go in and after the new points are located, it's going to adjust all the side shots and all the graphics, all the planimetrics and everything. And you can see that I introduced in there quite a bit of error in my traverse adjustment just to show that something had been done over here in graphics. So that's why you see it there. So there my traverse adjustment is done. If I want to see a report on that, I can again go back to my adjustments, right click on that and go to adjustment results and hit the traverses option. And here it brings up my error report where I can see how the errors were distributed amongst the different traverse points, and I can see my accuracy settings, and I can actually see how each observation was adjusted.